has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
So I wanted you to get the SportsGrid app on iOS or Android. It's free. You're going to love it. You can watch the network, listen to the network, do it all, in-game odds, all on the SportsGrid app. Get it today. It's free, like I said, and you can follow your favorite hosts like Carver High. You're going to love it. SportsGrid app. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Hey, did you know we're streaming on X every day, all day, 7 days a week? Even right this very second, we're streaming on X at SportsGrid-Live. Check it out. You can get the Ferrall Coast to Coast and Ferrall on the Bench podcasts with ease on iTunes, Apple iTunes. Just go get them every day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. The 3-hour full broadcast with Carver High and Ferrall on C2C. You're going to love that. If you ever miss a show, you're gone. You're good to go. Let's look at the lineup for tonight on SportsGrid TV. After this show at 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern, it's Game Time Decisions with the mayor of Miami, our good friend Joe Ranieri, the one and only. And then at 8 to 10, it's In-Game Live, the original OG, with Scott Wetzel and Dave Sherapan and Sin City to Magada, beautiful. Baby. And then at 10, it's Sports Rage with Gabe Morency and his pal, the Prime Minister, Cam Stewart, live. And on SportsGrid Radio at 8 to 10, it's Carver and Lisi. SportsGrid TV and SportsGrid Radio, the only way to go. All right, we're in hour 2 now, and we're talking about the remaining baseball games on the docket for the rest of the day and tonight.
We certainly are. Let's get to the rest of this evening's action. Why don't we start in D.C., where the Diamondbacks, after taking 2 or 3 from the Yankees in the Bronx, are in town to see the Nationals. Off a bad start, 1-5. For them this year. Brandon Pfaadt for the Snakes. Jake Irvin, who's a tater machine, for the Nationals. Minus 150 for Arizona, plus $1.25 for DC, and an 8.5 in the total.
Yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, I like Arizona here. I mean, I think the Nationals have basically looked awful, and the Diamondbacks have been scoring, hitting home runs. Given the Yankees fits, they won that series in the Bronx, took 2 of 3. I don't see why the Nationals are going to be a problem for them. This is a really good team that's going to find their way, like Cody Decker was saying. Like you and I both have been on the Diamondbacks as it's a sleeper to me, because all anyone ever talks about is the Dodgers and, frankly, the Padres, the Mets, the Phillies, the Braves. And that's pretty much it in baseball, right? The Yankees. And I guess, I'm not even going to give the Astros that love anymore. But no one ever talks about this Diamondback team. They're really good. They're tough. They got a tough lineup. They got good pitching. I think they're way better than the Nationals. I think they'll take advantage of them this weekend.
The Dodgers are in Philadelphia. First time on the road for them this year. They will see the Phillies tonight. Yamamoto on the mound for L.A., it will be Jesus Luzardo for the Phillies. Dodgers, the road favorite, minus $1.30 with their 8-0 record, plus 110 for the Phillies, and a 7.5.
God, I just think it's got to end at some point. I'm willing to take a shot with them and Luzardo in the 115, even though I said before Yamamoto's pitching, so it looks like 9-0. I'll take the Phillies at the bank. They're a really good team at home. They got a really tough lineup. Luzardo's tough. He's got a 3.6 ERA. I think, obviously, Yamamoto's really good and everything else. I think more so at Dodger Stadium than in chilly Philly tonight. I'll take a shot with the Phils tonight to end their 8-0 run.
The Braves, of course, are off to a miserable start. They are finally home after an 0-7 West Coast road trip. They have the Marlins in town. Might be a good thing. But the Marlins are actually 4-3 to start the year. They're off to a decent start. Spencer Schwellenbach. And the Braves are minus 240. It'll be Max Meyer for the Fish at plus 200. 7.5 is the total.
Yeah, I think the Braves are going to smack the Marlins tonight. at Trust in Atlanta. I think they'll get it done at home. That's why they're heavy lumber. I think Schwellenbach will get it done. I'll run line it, minus a 1.5 at minus 120. A lot like I hit 4 puck lines last night, laying the goal and a half. I'm not afraid to lay a 1.5 here with the Braves. It ends tonight. They'll win their first game.
The Orioles are in Kansas City this weekend against the Royals. The Dean Kramer for
Coffee and
Baltimore.
Kramer.
Seth Lugo goes for Kansas City. Some good news for Baltimore, Scotty. They only had to go the first week of the season without Gunnar Henderson. He is back tonight off of the IL for the Birds, hitting leadoff and playing shortstop. -1, actually down to a pick 'em now. -110 on both sides with a 7.5.
Wow. I want to take Lugo, but I'm not gonna. I'll take Coffee and Kramer in that Oriole lineup, and then they get this guy injected into the lineup. They're already hitting. They're already jacking home runs. Mullins, it goes on and on. They're a tough team. I like their bats, and Kramer's not bad. I'll take the O's at the K, even with that brisket sandwich with the double onion rings.
The Rays are in Arlington, a rare first 3 months of the season trip on the road for Tampa. They're in Arlington against the Rangers this evening, where we have Zach Littell against Tyler Mahle. -130 for the Rangers, plus a $1.10 for the Rays, and an 8.5.
All the kids love Mahle, so I'll take Mahle and the Rangers in Arlington at the Globe. They've had a pretty decent start. I think it continues. They'll beat the Rays.
The Reds are in Milwaukee once again for the Brewers. As we mentioned before, they've lost 3 consecutive 1-0 games. Tonight, they have Nick Martinez going against Tyler Alexander. Brewers -130, Reds plus a $1.10 and an 8.5.
Brewers climbed to 500 with this win tonight, and everybody was bashing them and mocking them how they looked in New York, and now they'll be 500 when they beat the Reds again, and the Reds have looked awful. They can't score runs.
And finally, on the West Coast, the Guardians are in Anaheim for the Angels, home opener for them. Angels tonight are going to go with Jose Soriano. It'll be Gavin Williams for Cleveland. They are -115, -105 for Anaheim, and a 7.5.
God, I'll take the Angels. They've looked decent, and so has Soriano. And Mike Trout hasn't died yet, so can we keep rolling with the Angels here? And that price is decent, minus a $1.05. Why not?
All right, there you go. That is tonight, but of course we're not completely done. Let's try to quickly get the taters in for this evening. We got a couple guys that we've been waiting on here, Scotty, as you know. Why don't we start? I'm going to Seager again. Look, 3 for 6 with a home run off Littell in his career. He hasn't hit one yet this season. Plus 290 for Corey Seager. Matt Olson, good history against Meyer. Going to be a little warm in Atlanta tonight. Maybe we can finally get the Brave bats going. Plus 370. Ketel Marte, also a bagel. Sat out last night. Jake Irvin gives up tons of homers. Marte's got one against him, plus 425. Teoscar Hernandez against Jesus Luzardo in Philadelphia, plus 450. William Contreras for the Brewers tonight. Good history against Martinez. And late night, loved this price I saw on Jose Ramirez at plus 650. And he's hit Soriano in the past. So we will go with him. Rare you get Jose Ramirez as the big ball of the night. But we'll do that out in Anaheim.
And I'll take Judge and Jazz again. They just keep hitting them, so why not at PNC?
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're gonna go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's gonna help me get the job done. There is not gonna be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
They are underway at PNC with the Bombers and the Buccos, and it looks fantastic. It's comfortable, big crowd, and Helen Keller's out there throwing strikes, but the Yankees' Rice leads off with a hit to center, so they're underway in the Steel City. I'll keep my eyes on this one now. I'm very happy that I have this game on. Hopefully I won't be mad in 20 to 30 minutes when they're down 6 runs. But I did bet on the Yankees, didn't I?
Yes, you did this afternoon as they get ready to take on the Buccos here. They're underway in Pittsburgh. And the snow is coming down in Colorado. I mean, it is blowing here for the Rockies and the A's. This Feltner's up on the mound, man on first, 2 outs, and it is a good snowstorm going in there now. Not sticking, but it's snowing, playing through the flakes as they are out there. All right. So we'll keep our eye on all the afternoon games as well. How about the Final Four? It's time. This weekend in San Antonio. They get going. Of course, the talk all week, and there it is. Look at that. 4 teams left for us in San Antonio for our bracket central. Janai Broom, Auburn Star. That's been the talk all week. Is he okay? He said he's good to go for Saturday with no limitations. Bruce Pearl telling us the same yesterday.
Today was the first day he moved and practiced, so I was glad to see him. Obviously, good to see him out there. And the one thing Janai Broom showed in this NCAA tournament, that there was another level, there was another gear. Everybody keeps watching him and wondering, when is he going to fizzle? When is he going to not show up? And he again managed to step up. He was 10 for 13 against Michigan State, and that was a huge difference for us. Now, look, Florida recognizes that, and Florida's bigs are a little bigger and a little bit more athletic than Michigan State's or Michigan's bigs. But Janai was the MVP of the South region, and we rode him hard, and we're going to ride him hard again on Saturday.
Listen, I think that Michigan's bigs are tougher than Florida's bigs. And I thought that Auburn handled Michigan's bigs, Golden and Wolf. I thought they did a great job. against them and banged with them and did whatever. Like, I think that Auburn is a very physical football team playing basketball, and they can do it all. I mean, there's a reason why that committee, that crack, crab, and lobster committee, fell for them being the number 1 overall seed, right? Like, you and I didn't agree that a team that loses 3 or 4 going out the door deserves to be the top overall seed. But here they are. And then how about this? They're still underdogs. They're still underdogs in the Final Four game. Like, they have never gotten any respect whatsoever since they got tabbed the top overall seed. I mean, you know, we got a lot of people around here said they were going to lose to Michigan. And I have rode Auburn all the way to this game. I'm not getting off of them. I still think they're better than Florida.
Most of these coaches that are in San Antonio this weekend, you know, they're pretty stale. Golden and Shire. They're younger guys, and they're not going to give you any kind of anything of substance whatsoever. So I figured while we have Bruce Pearl still with us, we got to get a couple out of him because he had a few pretty decent ones yesterday. Here he is talking about him and Kelvin Sampson, of course, being the old guys at the Final Four this weekend.
You know, the only way I look at it is Kelvin and I have fewer chances to get where we are right now, whereas John Shire and Todd Golden will be back here many more times. So Kelvin and I better take advantage of it this time, because we're clearly on the back 9. I'm not on the 18th hole yet, but we're getting closer. And so, Todd and John don't give up anything in experience. They just give up a little bit, and they don't have as much gray hair, and they may not have been beat down as much as Kelvin and I have been over the years.
Listen, I think Shire will go back to Final Fours. I think Golden's got a really good program at Gainesville, and it's been a long time since they were in the Final Four. Okay, so I'm not just handing him Final Fours because they're there this year. I thought they had a really good team this year, and I thought they'd make the Final Four when the tournament started, and they did. But I'm not handing him a bunch of Final Fours that he's going there all the time. That's crazy. Like, people that think this is easy, getting to the Final Four, and they're going to have a ton of trips to the Final Four, you're tripping. You're absolutely imagining things. But he's right about one thing, that he and Sampson are older. I think I'm older than Bruce Pearl. Am I not? Like, how old is he?
Bruce Pearl right now,
58?
checking in at, let
56?
me see, I've got this, 65.
Oh, no, come on. You're lying.
65 he is.
How old is Kelvin Sampson?
He's probably a little bit, probably about the same, I would have to think. Kelvin checks in at 69. 69
oh, my God. They're already getting Social Security checks at the end of the driveway, both of them. Yep. I'm styling. I'm way younger than both of those geezers. Yeah, I don't think Pearl's got many more in him. Maybe one more after this. Sampson's been to several of them now. He never wins it, though. Remember that.
Remember that, indeed. One more from Bruce Gruff quickly. Everyone likes free breakfast on these trips. I mean, you're out in San Antonio. You want to keep having free breakfast? Keep winning.
This is it. Like, we're running out of one shining moments. Like, we do it now, or like Dylan Carwell said, this is his last free breakfast. Any morning, he's been prepared to wake up and not have a free breakfast. And so, there are a lot of T-shirts out. We want Dylan to continue to eat free. And so I think that's what it is. It's just a level of desperation, that knowing that tomorrow could be our last game every single time for this group. And so they don't want this to end.
There is nothing, as you know, compared to the Grand Slam breakfast and the second for $1. The greatest deal ever.
This is the greatest deal ever. We'll hear from the rest of these guys for this weekend when we come back. Todd Golden, John Shire, and Kelvin Sampson. Yes, as we are getting a little closer to the Final Four. A's are up 1-0 in Colorado. They scored a run in the top of the first in the snow. Rockies.
Mafia made me have Bloody Marys with piping hot peppers in New Orleans that made my mouth go on fire.
These guys are barreling everything right now that are hitting well. Pitching is usually ahead of hitting this time of year, but torpedo bats is what we're reading about, Tom, and I think it's hilarious.
Will the pitching be out in front, or are the bats actually this strong? So it's going to develop over the course of weeks. And again, if all teams have the ability to do so, be creative with it and get out there and use it.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
They won the game, and a lot of people, I think, are, prematurely writing them off. Like, I heard a lot of people say they're not even making the playoffs this year.
What I give them credit for right now, Scott, I'm not going to pencil them to win the division yet. Let's see how they do. What I give the Red Sox credit for, and this sounds like silly, I give them credit for actually trying this year.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Duke has looked really impressive, and it's why they are a minus money favorite to go ahead and cut down the Nets in San Antonio. Kevin Willard's a hell of a coach. There's no mistaking it. Sussman's going to kill me. I think he's going to do a good job at Villanova. The Villanova people are very happy with him, and they think that he's going to do a great job.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, we're talking about the Final Four here on C2C on a Pain-Free Friday, and the other game is Duke-Houston.
Yes, one more thing. Let me finish up Florida-Auburn with Todd Golden, of course, as he is in his third season with the Gators. Did you know that he got one of his coaching starts at Auburn with Bruce Pearl? That's right. He was there for a couple of years at the start of his journey before going to San Francisco and being with the Dons. He's very tight with Bruce's son. So this is a very special connection for Todd Golden playing against the Pearl family.
We're incredibly close. We have been for a long time now, almost 15 years. And, it's a little surreal, to be honest, to be able to be here at the Final Four. That in itself is a little surreal, but, playing on Saturday against one of your biggest and best mentors, not exactly something you expect, when the season starts. And, I know he's incredibly proud of me. I'm incredibly grateful for him and his family and the opportunities that they provided for me. I would not be here, if I didn't have my relationship and experience, working with and being around Bruce and his son, Steven. And it's a little bit of a full circle moment, I'm sure for both of us. And, when the ball goes up on Saturday, it's going to be pretty cutthroat. But, until then, there'll be a lot of love shown and, again, a surreal moment for sure.
They're both Jewish, and I know that the kid played in, I think he played in Tel Aviv. I think at one point he played overseas in Israel, and I think they've been very tight because of that bond and their religion and their faith. And Pearl's been really good to Golden, and he's done a great job at Gainesville. Obviously, he had some problems. He was accused of all kinds of horrific things down there at Florida, and somehow got through it and past it and made the Final Four in the midst of all the stuff that they've thrown at him this year. A lot of people wanted to get rid of him and everything else, but he's maintained his calm, and he's got his team in San Antonio. So kudos to him. I won't deny that the kid can coach.
He did play from 2008 to 2010. He played over there in that league. So he did. So. After he played at St. Mary's, he was over there. So there you go, Todd Golden. As far as the numbers, still minus 2.5 for the Gators, 159.5. That totals down from the 160s we saw most of the week.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't care about all that. I'm on Auburn. You know, the numbers change, the totals, the spreads, and all the rest. Listen, I'm going with Auburn to win outright. Give me the points, whatever you got to do to make the sandwich taste better. Whatever. Like, you know, I think Florida's really good. I think Florida can win. There's no doubt about it. I've been riding them all the way here. I rode all 4 of these teams all the way here, so it's hard to pick them now. I thought it was a lot easier for me picking regional semis and finals than it is these games, but I'm going Auburn.
There you go. I'm going Auburn as well. Tigers win the first game against the Gators on Saturday afternoon. In the second game, of course, it will be Duke and Houston. Here is John Shire, of course, taking over for the great Coach K. First time he is bringing Duke to the Final Four as the head man. Here he is.
Well, it's special. You know, you feel a great deal of responsibility, to be the head coach at Duke, and you want for your players to be able to experience this. And so walking out there today for practice, I was just soaking it in like I was when I was 22 years old walking out for the first time. You know, it's the Final Four is a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing, and to be a part of this being my fourth Final Four, obviously first as a head coach, but if you're around great people, you're at a great place, it's something I'll never take for granted. But at the same time, I feel we belong here. You know, I feel this is what we've worked for, and so there's that combination of amazing pride, wanting to soak it in, but then the incredible hunger and understanding what a challenge, this game is going to be on Saturday. So for me, it's that combination.
I think it'll be a challenge as well. But look, I thought their games that they struggled in were on the road, like at Little John, whatever. This is a neutral court, so it could be a struggle against Houston. I don't know if I believe Houston can shoot for 40 minutes against that defense and have a high percentage. I really don't. They look what they did to Alabama. That's all I need to see is what they do to teams. It doesn't matter where the game is. They just affect your shots, your everything about it, your space. You have no space. Getting open looks against Duke is nearly impossible. So I'm not surprised they're back. I think they're the best college basketball program in the country.
What an impressive debut it was for Mackenzie Gore of the Washington Nationals. He ended up having the most strikeouts of anybody thus far in a Major League Baseball game this season. Buy or sell, George? Mackenzie Gore will be a top 15 fantasy baseball pitcher this season. Top 15. Buy or sell?
You know, these questions are made up by Sam Yarnell, our producer, man behind the glass here. Who's a Washington Nationals fan here? You ever get the feeling that he just made this where you have to say buy, all right? Because top 15? Yeah, I think he'll be top 15. Come on, Sam, make it top 10. Make it a little bit more interesting. Maybe even top 5. Yeah, I think he's got the upside to be that. Once again, he is a good pitcher anyway. Once a top prospect here, you're pitching in a good pitcher's ballpark here. I think the upside is there for him to be much better than top 15. Top 5 may be pushing it, but I think he'll be inside the top 10. So yes, I am all on board the Mackenzie Gore train.
All right, yeah, I think that I am going to buy this too, man. I don't know. He's just, and again, it's not just that one start for me. I think I have the video somewhere. I was like literally sitting behind home plate for one of his starts in Palm Beach, and I was like, wow, like this guy's stuff looks really, really good. Yeah, I'm going to buy it too. I think he's a potential Cy Young Award candidate. As George said, you're dealing with bigger markets and bigger names with LA and some of the other teams. Arizona's got some great pitchers too. But I think he's definitely in the mix. And look, do I think he's a top 2 guy? No. Do I think he's a top 15 guy? Yes. I'll buy that. As his season, I think, is going to be a special one for him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Weekends starting at 8 a.m. Only on SportsGrid.
Turning the corner on a pain-free Friday. We're live in New York on Coast to Coast on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid along with Carver. Hi, I'm Ferrall. So we're still talking about the Final Four and everything that's going on in San Antonio.
We certainly are. Cooper Flagg was named today as well, the AP Player of the Year.
Why not?
Bruce Pearl and Rick Pitino shared the National Coach of the Year. Never a fan of that. Can we please just pick one guy? You know, if it's a tie, can we go to a runoff? Like, wait, why sharing the award? Come on.
Yeah. How about one guy's in the Final Four and the other guy was out in a hurry?
That's another way that you could do it, too. All right, final coach we'll hear from is Kelvin Sampson on his Cougars being in San Antonio at the Final Four.
Really proud of this team. Every team has a journey. It has to start not knowing what they're going to be, just kind of figure out how to stay in the moment early. You know, June, July, September. We start the season so early now. Of course, I'm so old, I remember when season started after Thanksgiving. Now, you may have 5 guys transfer by Thanksgiving. But the team this year is very much a player-led team. We have great player leadership. We have players that really care about each other and the program. And I think that's reflected on how they have handled adversity.
Yeah, that was great. You might have 5 guys transfer by Thanksgiving. That is hilarious. That was it right there. The line of the day so far.
So far for Kelvin Sampson. Well, he's got a big test tomorrow night. Duke minus 5.5, 136.5, total up a little bit from the 135 yesterday.
Yeah, I'm on Duke, and I got to tell you, I think that spread is just horrible. Super dangerous. I could see the Cougars covering the 5.5 easy. I mean, what was it last year? 3 points? Like, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be your 3 or 4 point game. 5 at best. I think it's going to be a good game. I know that Duke blows everyone out. It's hard to blow out a team that doesn't allow you to score. Like, Houston is going to be up in their shack. So it's going to be a test of attrition. It's going to go back and forth this game. There's going to be lead changes and ties. It's going to be crazy. I think it's too many points. But I like Duke to somehow find a way in the end. But we'll see what happens. Listen, I will not cry if Duke loses. I've never liked them. But what's awful for me is I actually do like Cooper Flagg. I think he's sucked me right in. Like, I like his game. I like watching him play. I'm fascinated by his talents. I can't wait to, watch him for the rest of my life. Because the bottom line is he's going to have a 20-year career in the NBA, and God only knows how long I'll be on this earth. I get to watch this guy play basketball. It's no different, in my opinion, than watching Michael Jordan or LeBron James. This kid is unique. And he's like, to me, he's like Larry Bird. He is a white phenom. I mean, this guy's dunking in brothers' faces. And they know it. They know he's coming. It's no different than Luka. They can't stop him either. It's just that simple. It's basketball skills. It don't matter if you're white or black. You can just flat out ball. And this dude's fun to watch. So what sucks for me is I always hated Duke. And now I got to sit there and root for this kid. I can't stand Duke, but I like him, so I'm a mess.
I'm not getting in front of the Duke train. I'm not doing it. So I'm taking Duke on Saturday night. I think they're going to win. I think it's going to be very tough. I think it's an under as well, but I think Duke can win either style of game. And I think that they'll cover the 5.5 as well while they are doing it. So there you go. Final Four on Saturday night. You sent me this. Here are the top 10 coaches with the most Final Four appearances. Coach K with 13 at the top of the charts. John Wooden, Dean Smith, Roy Williams, Izzo, Denny Crum, Rupp, Pitino.
I mean, look at those coaches. Look at those
Bobby
coaches.
Knight. There they are.
Guy Lewis.
Best of the best.
Like, look at those coaches. That is
Best of the
just
best.
absolutely the greatest. Honestly, that is the greatest array of coaches assembled ever right there. That's why I sent it. Like, that is crazy. Look at those numbers for like Krzyzewski and Wooden and Smith and Williams even and Izzo. I saw Izzo at the Tiger game today recruiting. But that's a phenomenal array of great coaches. Just incredible. And my favorite of all time, the General, Robert Montgomery Knight.
The General, indeed. There you go. The top coaches ever in the Final Four. We also have, starting tonight, the Women's Final Four, of course. We have a couple of games this evening. Amalie Arena in Tampa is where they are, and then they'll play the championship game on Sunday afternoon. It will be Texas and South Carolina in the first game. South Carolina -5.5, and UConn is 7.5-point favorite over UCLA in the second game, Scotty. I'm guessing UConn versus South Carolina on Sunday. I'm guessing that's where you're leaning.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. I think UCLA is really good, and I think they might be able to cover it at 7.5. I think the game could be better than anyone thinks it's going to be. I think that everyone just thinks it's automatically South Carolina and UConn. I think instead both games will be closer and better than advertised, and I'm still going out to dinner, and I won't be watching.
I unfortunately was watching this last night. The NIT championship between Chattanooga and the Anteaters.
In front of the Mocs.
Let me tell you, what an absolute melt by the Anteaters in this game. I mean, they missed a billion free throws. A billion free throws they missed, which is just unbelievable. But they still had a chance at the end of overtime to win this game. They had a guy right under the basket on ESPN.
Inbounder. Tillis hoists it deep. Loyston, he does catch it. He dumps it underneath, the shot for the win. No! By Jurian Dixon. And Chattanooga wins their school's first ever NIT championship.
Oh, the bunny. And he bricked it. He missed it. He'll never recover from that. This kid won't sleep for a month. You lose.
Not a soul near him either. Not a soul near him on that layup. I mean, it would not. No defenders, no nothing.
I had that shot 12 times this morning. I hit all 12. Right under the basket. Just give me the pill, and I'm a flipper. I'm George Gervin. I put him in left and right under the basket. I got the finger roll. I don't miss that bunny, son.
You can't miss that bunny, indeed.
I think you can't think about it. I think that's the problem in basketball.
Yeah.
Guys have looks from 5 feet, 3 feet, 2 feet, and they start thinking about it. And I think the best way to execute playing basketball is to just fire it, shoot it, put it in. I always tell people when I'm playing with them that miss layups and stuff wide open, I'm like, just put it in, bro. What are you thinking about? Just do it. And this kid thought about that shot. That was the worst bunny, miss I've ever seen. My man just absolutely chunked it. The bunny. He thought about it and bricked.
Thought about it and bricked. We also had, you know what? We'll come back and I'll finish off the college basketball with the Crown will be this weekend too. The semis of the Crown before the Final Four, and then they'll have their championship on Sunday. So we have that, and then we'll get into the NBA here.
So what, the semis are tomorrow afternoon? I can watch that while I'm waiting for the Final Four?
You can. I'll get it for you. 1 and 4, I think. Somewhere around there. 1:30 and 4.
Perfect.
Right around
That
those
is
times.
perfect.
Guys are barreling everything right now that are hitting well. Pitching is usually ahead of hitting this time of year, but torpedo bats is what we're reading about, Tom, and I think it's hilarious.
Will the pitching be out in front, or are the bats actually this strong? So it's going to develop over the course of weeks, and again, if all teams have the ability to do so, be creative with it and get out there and use it.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
They won the game, and a lot of people, I think, are, prematurely writing them off. Like, I heard a lot of people say they're not even making the playoffs this year.
What I give them credit for right now, Scott, I'm not going to pencil them to win the division yet. Let's see how they do. What I give the Red Sox credit for, and this sounds like silly, I give them credit for actually trying this year.
Ferrall Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Duke has looked really impressive, and it's why they are a minus money favorite to go ahead and cut down the Nets in San Antonio. Kevin Willard's a hell of a coach. There's no mistaking it. Sussman's going to kill me. I think he's going to do a good job at Villanova. The Villanova people are very happy with him, and they think that he's going to do a great job.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
So you're going to tell me about the Crown now in Vegas? They've moved it to the T-Mobile in Sin City, beautiful Vegas, baby, on the semis and the final, right?
That is correct. So after last night's games, which of course saw UCF get the victory over Cincinnati and Villanova with a 1-point win over USC, that sets us up for Saturday. Yes, they will move to the T-Mobile across the street from the MGM Grand. 1:30 East is your tip for the first game. Boise State minus 2.5 against Nebraska.
Yeah, I like Boise State, to be honest with you. I think they're a better team than Nebraska. Nebraska didn't even make the Big Ten tournament. Now they're playing for titles. Boise State should have been in the NCAA tournament. So I'm going to go with the Broncos here, that they'll be able to handle the alleged, power of the Big Ten. I thought, Nebraska was just horrendous in the Big Ten this year. So I'm not afraid of them. So go beat them. If you're such a badass team up in Boise, go beat them.
In the second game, which is at 4 o'clock East, so this will lead you right into the Final Four. UCF and Villanova will play. Villanova minus 3.5, 156.5 the total.
How is it that Central Florida keeps kicking everyone's ass is what I want to know in this tournament. So I'm going to go for the upset. I want to say Villanova just because they're Villanova, but they're not Villanova, are they? They're just not that good. So I'm going to go for the upset with Central Florida here. How about a Boise Central Florida championship?
Boise Central Florida, and they would play Sunday, the next day in the championship game. On the off day of the Final Four is when the Crown title game would be. I think Boise wins it all. I'm going to take Boise to win the whole thing in the Crown. I think they finish the job.
I like that.
So
they're legit.
They are legit. Indiana coach Darren DeVries to make at least $27 million over his 6-year deal. Not bad. $27 million over his 6-year deal.
He literally made $300,000 more than Mike Woodson. That's it.
There you go.
They
there you go. A little bit of a bump.
They gave their basketball coach a $300,000 raise. That was it. Mike Woodson made 4.2. This guy's making 4.5 million. That's amazing.
It's also one of those.
It really is. It really is.
But if he has a good first couple of seasons, hell, the way things work now, he could have one great first season. They give these guys new money and new extensions like all the time. Like they go lock them up, then they give them money before they. Sometimes you don't even have to win, and they give you big money and extensions.
Listen, I think he's a good coach, but I'm gonna reserve judgment. I've seen Indiana hire 6 coaches now that were allegedly good coaches, and all 6 of them sucked. I mean, one after the next, it was like dominoes. So I have, famous last words, how everyone they hire, they think is the right guy. There's been nothing more of a bloodletting in my life than seeing them try to replace Bob Knight. It's just been an utter disaster. I mean, I've seen better divorces, honestly. Like I've seen divorced husband and wives that hate each other's guts. I've seen them out to dinner that now they get along. They have never been able to replace Bobby Knight. That's it. That's all there is to it. You can tell me whatever you want. They have never even come close to having a good coach since Bob Knight.
Not even close.
That's it.
And finally, Michigan point guard Trey Donaldson off to Miami as well. Miami's been bringing in a lot of guys.
Miles Brand screwed it all up. It's his fault.
Yes.
I hope he's turning in his grave.
He did screw everything up, Miles Brand. He is the guy to blame for all of it. So there you go. The college basketball, a lot of great games this weekend. Should be fun. And then Monday we'll be back for the national championship. The winners on Saturday, Monday night in San Antonio. All right. How about the NBA now? Let's start because we have a lot to do and there's a lot of games tonight that we'll get to as well. Warriors beat the Lakers 123-116. Big night for a bunch of guys. Curry had 37 points. Podziemski had 28. He hit 8 threes. Lots of threes late for the Warriors on TNT.
2 to go. Warriors by 7. Green sets a screen. Curry 3. Come on. What a big hit. 10-point Golden State lead. Wow. Here comes Steph the other way. 1:41 to go. Dorian Finney-Smith will defend. Curry inside, snakes, feeds, Green side. It's Podziemski. His 3. Good.
I got to be honest. What I saw was just a better team. I think they're deeper. I think, for my money, it's Luka, LeBron, and Reeves, and then it's just ass. I don't buy any of the rest of that team at all, including Hachimura and the rest. And he had a decent game. I still don't buy him because that team that you're talking about, you said it. You said, I like the Warriors to beat them in the playoffs. And the Warriors went there last night and beat them anyway. We both thought, we'll take the Lakers tonight. Meanwhile, you didn't want to take the Lakers. You still wanted to take the Warriors. You didn't do it. You didn't have the stones. But you still think the Warriors better because they are better. They're better with Jimmy Lymphoma, Podziemski, Kuminga, Curry, Dre, the asshat. I mean, it never ends. Christ, if they had Klay Thompson, this wouldn't even be a discussion. They'd be going for another chip, number 5.
Really, you're right. I said to you, I thought the Warriors were better than them. I took the Lakers last night anyway. Didn't go very well for me either. And Butler didn't do much in the game, but
so
Curry
now
and
you just
Podziemski
know that
were
that'll
able to.
be the Lakers aren't winning anything. The Warriors will beat them in a series.
We'll do the rest of the NBA when we come back. The Red Sox have now opened up an 11-6 lead.
How unfortunate.
On the Cardinals at Fenway, scoring lots of runs. The Cubs are up 3-1 on the Padres, top of the 9th at Wrigley. Mets still up 2-0. That Alonso homer has been all that's happened. 1-1 A's Rockies and 1-0 Mariners. A Julio Rodriguez homer for Seattle in the top of the first against San Francisco.
Guys are barreling everything right now that are hitting well. Pitching is usually ahead of hitting this time of year, but torpedo bats is what we're reading about, Tom, and I think it's hilarious.
Will the pitching be out in front, or are the bats actually this strong? So it's going to develop over the course of weeks. And again, if all teams have the ability to do so, be creative with it and get out there and use it.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
They won the game, and a lot of people, I think, are, prematurely writing them off. Like, I heard a lot of people say they're not even making the playoffs this year.
What I give them credit for right now, Scott, I'm not going to pencil them to win the division yet. Let's see how they do. What I give the Red Sox credit for, and this sounds like silly, I give them credit for actually trying this year.
Ferrall Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Duke has looked really impressive, and it's why they are a minus money favorite to go ahead and cut down the Nets in San Antonio. Kevin Willard's a hell of a coach. There's no mistaking it. Sussman's going to kill me. I think he's going to do a good job at Villanova. The Villanova people are very happy with him, and they think that he's going to do a great job.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All I know is I hit the bet. The Heat covered that 5 and a hook. I couldn't believe they were dogs at home after winning 6 in a row, but the Grizzlies beat them. But that really wasn't the story after this game. More problems for Ja.
More problems for Ja, indeed. That's for sure. Let's start first with what happened in the game, of course. Grizzlies did beat the Heat 110-108, tied at 108 in the final seconds, and it was Ja on TNT.
And here we go into the half-court set.
No Tyler Hero in here, so they can switch everything, which they did.
Morant goes on Ware, step back, and it goes! Ja Morant wins it for Memphis!
Yeah, I mean, he's an incredible basketball player. Too bad the rest of the day he's such an F-up. I mean, honestly. I mean, this guy,
75. Yeah,
he's got
75,000. He made it again last night. I didn't realize last night
he did it again.
Gesture again. So that's 75K he gets.
Mike, he just doesn't respect authority. He doesn't respect any, like the fact that people are saying he's pointing guns at people and they're all criticizing him. So he does it again. He's like, nobody tells me what to do. He's a child. Like, it's like, you can't do this. So he does it. Nobody tells me what to do. That's what he's doing right there. Without a doubt, unequivocally, there's no getting around it. He's not afraid of public opinion, media, the commissioner, his coaching staff, the front office. He doesn't care what anyone says. So, like, I think, Mike, at some point, this is where the conversation bled into he's going to get dealt. They're getting sick and tired of this guy's gangland bullshack that he's trying to play in the NBA in Memphis. It's making the organization look bad. It's making him look bad. It's making the NBA look bad. No one can stop him. He just doesn't listen to anybody. And I think that at some point I have to, come to the realization that that's why there was talk of, remember I said they would never trade him. He's so talented. He's their best player. But he's such a pain in the ass. He's not worth having. He's a pain in the ass. And he's become a hoodlum. That's what he is. And he's one of my favorite players. But that's what he's playing. The rest of the time, he's a jerk. Like, he just won't grow up. Facts. Real simple.
Yeah, it's what it comes down to at this point. It really is. Just, they can only tell you so many times not to do something.
But he refuses to change ever.
Yeah. You could see a new home in the offseason. You could absolutely see it. Someone take a shot on him, sure. Somebody will take a chance with John Moran. Bucks beat the Sixers 126-113. How about this night for Giannis? 35 points, 20 dimes, 17 boards.
What?
That is the first ever in NBA history, 35 plus, 20 plus, 15 plus game in NBA history. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Like, we know he fills it up and we know he works the glass. 20 dimes? That's pretty ridiculous.
I mean, it's just sickening. I mean, it really is. You wonder why the Nets want him, right? Like, who wouldn't want him? You know what? The funny thing is, he's like Stretch Armstrong. He's just always playing and dealing. He just never stops playing and dealing. And he's constantly getting thrown around onto the floor, fouled, hammered, yanked, tugged, stomped on, and he just keeps getting up and he goes back to his original configuration and playing. He's Stretch Armstrong. My man is Stretch, and he means business. 20, 35, 20, and 17. Christ almighty. I was like, what is happening here?
What a night for him. Magic beat the Wizards last night. T-Wolves did beat the Nets by 15, and Portland beat the Raptors 112-103, as Portland's kind of hanging by a thread still in the Western Conference for maybe that last spot in the play-in tournament. But they need a lot of wins and a lot of help to get themselves there. All right. Later on, you'll talk to Elvis will be in the building, and then we will get to all of tonight's games. Lakers have to run it back at home against New Orleans. Golden State has to run it back at home against Joker and Denver tonight. So another big game for the Warriors. They got to win last night, though.
Lakers with easier work there.
Much easier work with the Pelicans have found.
First time on a casino floor and feeling a little overwhelmed? Well, here's a tip. Lots of machines have a free demo mode you can try for practice. So give those slots a spin in practice mode before you start putting down some real cash. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.